So we've all been there, right? You're trying to set up a projector or maybe a digital sign in a lobby,
Oh, yeah.
and you hit that wall with HDMI.
Mm.
You push it past maybe 50 feet, and the signal just, it falls apart.
It gives up completely. It's that classic bottleneck because, HDMI was really just designed for the living room.
Right, for connecting your console to the TV 3 feet away.
Exactly. And when you try to send that much data like uncompressed 1080p video down a long copper wire, the signal just degrades. It can't keep up.
Which is why today we're doing a deep dive into a very specific workaround. We're looking at the NTI ST-C6HD-394-LCUK. It's a low-cost HDMI extender.
And its big claim, right on the datasheet, is that it can push that signal nearly 400 feet.
400 feet, that just sounds like a lot for a simple extender.
It's massive, but the whole trick is that it stops trying to be an HDMI cable. It's a system. You have a transmitter and a receiver.
Okay.
And it converts the signal to run over standard Ethernet cable, CAT5e or CT6.
Yeah. So you're using twisted pair, which is dirt cheap compared to a heavy-duty HDMI cable.
Uh-huh.
But that distance claim, 394 feet, 120 meters, is that like a best-case scenario in a lab somewhere?
That's the official rating for a solid TT6 cable. If you're using, say, CA5e, you lose a little bit. It drops to about 328 feet or 100 meters.
Still, 100 meters, that's not just across the room.
No, that's across the warehouse floor. Or from a server closet on one end of the building to a display in the lobby.
Usually, though, when you extend a signal that far, you're paying a price somewhere. You get compression, you start seeing artifacts.
That's a really valid concern, especially with IP-based streamers. But this is different. It's a direct electrical extension.
So what does that mean for the picture?
The spec sheet is really clear on this. It is uncompressed. It supports full 1080p at 60 hertz, and this is the important part, 24-bit deep color.
So you're not losing any of the color information. It's the full raw feed.
Yeah, correct. You aren't getting a re-encoded video stream that adds lag or, those ugly blocks and dark scenes. It's like having a super long HDMI cable that just doesn't have the normal problems.
Okay, so the video is solid, but I'm assuming we've sacrificed audio. That's usually the first thing to get crunched down to, like basic stereo.
Surprisingly, no. The spec sheet specifically lists pass-through for LPCM, Dolby Digital, and DTS.
You're keeping your surround sound.
You are. If this is for a home theater where the gear is tucked away in a closet, you're not losing anything.
Well, speaking of hiding the gear, that brings up the control problem. If my player is 300 feet away in a different room, my remote is useless.
Ah, but they thought of that. The unit supports full infrared remote control extension.
Okay, what does that mean in practice? Do I have to, tape some ugly little emitter to the front of my equipment?
I mean, it's a pretty standard Pro AV setup. You plug a little IR receiver into the unit by your TV and an emitter into the unit by your source.
And it just creates a loop.
Yeah, you point your remote at the TV like you normally would, and the signal just travels right back down that same Ethernet cable to your player. To the gear, it's like you're standing right there.
I see. That keeps the whole setup clean. Now, the price, I'm seeing it listed at $170. For what some people might see as just an adapter, that could feel a little steep.
It sounds like it until you try to buy a good, reliable 100-foot HDMI cable.
Right.
The active ones are heavy, they're fragile, and if that connector breaks, you have to replace the whole thing. With this, your main cable is just cheap CT6. If it gets damaged, you just terminate a new end for pennies.
Plus, pulling a K6 cable through a wall is a job I can handle.
Yeah.
Pulling a huge HDMI head through a small conduit, I never want to do that again.
Exactly. It's totally plug and play, no drivers. It's just designed to work and be invisible.
So really, this lets you completely decouple the screen from the source. The brains of the operation can be anywhere.
It completely separates them. And it really makes you think, about the infrastructure we already have just sitting in our walls.
How do you mean?
Well, if a simple, cheap Ethernet cable can do the job of a dedicated, high-bandwidth video cable over the length of a football field, it just makes you wonder what other specialized cables are just waiting to be replaced by smarter signaling over plain old copper.
It's a really interesting thought. Maybe one day it's just one port for everything. Thanks for unpacking all this.
My pleasure.